Okay, we're recording, guys. All smile. Good evening, everybody. This is the Sewer Commission meeting for September 8th at 5:05 p.m. My name is Dave McDonald. I'm the chairman of the commission. I'd like to do a roll call to confirm that all the members and persons anticipated for the agenda are here and can hear me. When I call your names, please respond by saying here. Mike Devakis.
Here.
John Reynolds.
Here.
Brett Ramson.
Here.
Carl Luck.
Here.
Jack Rodriguez. Bob.
Here.
And Jane's going to be late, you said, right?
Yes, she's trying.
Okay. She can get the tape anyways. Okay. The town of Lunenburg, in response to the COVID-19, is currently following the guidance rules of the Lunenburg Board of Health, Department of Public Health, and the CDC regarding the virus and steps that we can to prevent the spread. All town facilities are now open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. by appointment outside those hours. In accordance with the governor's orders suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, all public meetings are being conducted remotely, in order which we can find posts on the town website on the CDC 19 Information Center page. Access through the town manager's webpage allows public bodies to meet entirely remote, so long as responsible public access is afforded so that the public can now follow along in deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting, it will feature public comments. For this meeting, the Sewer Commission will be conveying a video conference via the Zoom app posted on the town website, identifying how the public may join. Are there any questions so far from anybody? Okay, I'd like to do announcements. Barbara, go ahead.
Yep. My normal one, just on our Deduct meter customers, they had to be upgraded by the homeowners working with their own plumbers to be able to be read remotely by 9/1 in order to continue to remain in the Deduct meter credit program. Those accounts that have not upgraded their meters to be read remotely have been removed from the program. So if you want to get back in the program, you need to submit the application and have it signed off by Gary Williams and the plumber.
Any questions from the board on that? Okay, public comment. Are there any public comments from the public? And I have a person here.
Mr. Chairman?
Jenko?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Yes,
yeah.
Public comment?
Yeah, I'm going public comment to the public.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Jennifer Johnson at 5 Richards Way.
Hey, Jen.
We've been trying to get the Deduct meter installed. We never heard back from Croto, and I tried to call again. I didn't hear back. So the process is to get the meter installed and then reapply again, even though we already paid for the year, or what happened with that?
Barb, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just, it's a application with the radio meter anyway, Jen. It's so the 50 that was spent was for the FY20 program. There'll be another annual fee coming up. So it's not that you have to pay again or extra. It's just for another year to be in the program. Just get you have that application that is required with the signatures and information.
Yeah, already. I found the link on the website, so I just fill that out once the meter's installed, and then. Okay.
Right. It just needs a copy of the plumbing permit and Gary Williams' signature, who's the plumbing inspector.
Okay, and so whenever we get back in, that's when we'll start to read the meter again?
Right.
Okay, great. I think that's all I needed to know.
Jen, thank you very much for your call.
Okay, thanks. I'll jump out and enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay. Any other public comment from the public? Seeing none. Any public comment from the board? Mr. Luck, you had your hand raised.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, my first comment intended for our last meeting. However, for the first time in my 14 plus years on the commission, the agenda did not include a public comment at the beginning of the meeting, and unfortunately the meeting abruptly ended before comment could be made. So here it is again. My intent was to share a conversation and situation relevant to the two connections on 362 and 364 Mass Ave that Zito has been working on since we approved them over 6 weeks ago. As you're aware, John had been reaching out to the commissioners for help. When I talked to John, he informed me that he was unable to get useful information on the location of the connections in the street and was told that the town does not provide this information, and it was his responsibility to find the T's. He also expressed concern that for a prior connection on Pratt Street, that he was told he had to purchase the key, whatever that is, in order to turn on the pressure valve for this low pressure system on Pratt Street. I told John that I did not know where the responsibility for these concerns lied, commission or operations, and suggested he contact the town manager as she's responsible to the commission for the day-to-day operations. Knowing that we do provide tie information to contractors, and in the past, when we did not have an as-built, we actually paid to dig up the area to find a connection. Based on this, it seemed that we may have a policy issue, and requested this topic be put on tonight's agenda, which it is. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I hope that during that discussion, we will use this situation as a good case study to see if the needs to take action to clarify the regulations or address situations where our customers have legitimate complaints with the service the town provides its sewer users. For information for tonight's discussion, I have requested a copy of the tie information that was provided to the contractor to be available if it's useful in our discussion. My second comment relates to the contract that was awarded at last week's meeting. Although I believe all procurement regulations were properly complied with, I feel the process that the commission followed was severely flawed. The final decision may have been the correct one. I am not second guessing that. Only time will tell. However, it was clear that the DPW director had strong bias towards one suppliers, quite vocal in advocating for them. Not only was there little to no debate among the commissioners over the factors affecting the decision, but the fact that the only reference checks done were for the alternate supplier, and the supplier that was selected had no reference checks made, in spite of the fact that at the previous meeting, the commission decided that the assistant town manager be asked to do reference checks on the bidders in the town manager's absence. These facts, combined with the fact that the chosen supplier's labor bid rates were 2 to 3 times that of the alternate supplier, might have at least led to further debate and perhaps gathering more information from each supplier before a final decision was made. I hope in spite of this flawed process, we have done the right thing for our customers. Finally, I would like to express my grave concern for the proposal that is to be made tonight regarding restricting the commissioner's access to legal office hours. Town policy allows all employees and board members to access to legal counsel for board relevant matters. No other board restricts this access. The policy being proposed tonight would require prior commission approval before a member can take advantage of this access that the Board of Selectmen has provided all board members. This matter has never been on an agenda discussion prior tonight. The commission never requested such a policy, and in fact, this topic has been discussed by the Sewer Commission in open meeting in the past, and it was always agreed that this is a valuable tool for board members and that there should be no restriction. In fact, previous commissioners have felt that members should be encouraged to take advantage of this free service, free legal service, I'll repeat that, that every other board enjoys and not discouraged from using it. I hope tonight that sentiment prevails. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other public comment from the board? I see none. Bob, let's go into now, I'd like to call for a public hearing in regards to the policy updates for the deduct meter policy.
Right,
And
just like
we've
to
already,
open the,
excuse me, Jane, welcome back. Jane's on board.
all right. Just want to announce the opening of the second of 2 public hearings to discuss what was known as the irrigation meter policy, which we've renamed the deduct meter policy. Changes include the change of name, how fees are handled, some clerical corrections and clarifications. We had made a few tight changes at the August 25th meeting, and that has been posted on the website and sent to all the commissioners, and it would be that version that we would be approving this evening.
Anybody have any questions on the public hearing? Do I hear anybody from the public? Seeing none. Anybody from the board? Seeing none. Okay, Barb,
All right.
changes? Any?
So I would first, if we have no other changes to the version from August 25th, I believe you need to have a motion to close the hearing, and then the commission would vote to accept the new policy to be incorporated into the sewer regulations, Article 7-3D2, and also Appendix K in the sewer use regulations.
Seeing no further questions from the commission or public, I'd like to close the public hearing and look for a motion to approve our immediate deduct policy, Article 7-3D2, Appendix K. Can I get a motion from a member, please?
So moved.
And second,
Second.
any discussion? Seeing none, I'm going for a roll call vote. Mike,
Yes.
Carl,
Aye.
John,
Yes.
Brett?
Aye.
I, for myself, congratulations, Bob. You now have a new deduct meter policy.
All right, thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda tonight is the RFP contract for the pump stations, operations and maintenance. Bid award to Chad Emery as of 9/1/20, and the draft was sent to us today. Before we go into it, I'd like to discuss the draft and any questions with it. And going back to, and everybody received the contract today, by the way?
Yes.
Everybody got it?
Yes.
Yes.
Going back to a comment made at the opening statement, I feel that this board did do a right job by hiring Humphrey, which we'll find out in 10 months, which is going to be the life of their contract. I feel we did do the right job as far as reference checks. It's kind of hard to do a reference check when the company works for you for 6 months, 7 months. That's a pretty good reference to me. So that satisfied all my needs. I guess what we're looking at is, are there any questions on the contract itself? Mike?
No, I reviewed it. Everything looks really good. It's pretty close to what the RFP was.
Okay. Carl?
Nope, I think it's what we planned and voted on.
John?
No comments about any changes to it now.
Brett?
I have no comment on it. I'm happy with the way it looks. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to accept the Lunenburg Sewer Commission 2020 sewer O&M contract. Looking for a motion.
So motion.
Okay, looking for a second.
I will second the motion.
Okay, any discussion on it? Again, all in favor, going across the board. We're going to start with Mike.
Yes.
Carl?
Aye.
John?
Yes.
Brett?
Aye.
And then I for myself. Barbara, as soon as this is executed, like I said, I'd like to have them come and talk to the commission and introduce themselves so we can know our partners who we're going to be working with. Anything else you need from us, Barb? You need signatures on this?
I think what I will do is send this version off to MP. If they make no changes, then we'll figure out signatures. The buildings are open 10 to 2. People can come down. If not, but let's see how MP does. If there's no changes, we'll figure it out. But at least I can say that this is this commission approved contract, and we would like their signature.
Okay, and if I'm reading it right, this contract starts on September 15th and expires next June, if I'm not mistaken. So, and Jack, you're already, once they come on board, to work with them, and you're muted. You muted, Jack? Can you unmute yourself? There you go. Okay, they start on the 15th. You're all set to work with them and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I'd like to have a signed contract. I think that's important.
Yep, you got it. Okay, next subject is Bright Farms project. Go ahead, Barb.
This was on here just in case I was somewhat expecting a revised site plan for the sewer connection. We do have the full set of plans here at the DPW if anybody needs to see it, but I did hear from Sean O'Neill recently that they've not yet gotten the coordinates for the updated sewer connection, so he will get that to us as soon as possible. The other thing is that we have confirmed with planning board that Graves Engineering will be doing the sewer considerations and the peer review, so
Uh,
moving right along.
I know we sent the board, the commission, the schedule for the planning board, which I think is
The 14th,
the 14th.
next Monday.
So they're going to that meeting on the planning board. If anybody wants to attend it on Zoom, Bob can send out the Zoom address if you want to listen or be part of what's going on with them. But we did ask the planning board for a little bit of consideration to help them push this project along as well. But if they have any questions, Jack, are you going to be attending that meeting? Have they asked you to go?
I don't know that I've been invited, but I'm sure I can go.
Okay, I mean, I don't think they'll have any questions, but. Okay, next one, special town meeting warrant. Warrants are open at 9/1 and they close on 9/29. Any discussion on that, Barb and Jack?
Aaron?
Right, it's our chance to put in articles for the meeting. I think this is the special meeting is when we will address the stabilization funds, taking anything we had left in reserve capacity or INI, and nothing. So those two items, and move what we had for income over to the stabilization funds. I need to look
Okay.
into the file and see if there's anything else, but so I'll work on that. We'll have it for the next meeting. Ooh, boy, that'll be quick. If there's anything different, when I pull out my information, if there is anything different, I will let you know. But I believe it'll just be the standard stabilization fund transfers, unless anybody else has input for another article that they're looking at.
For the new members, this is where we have a chance to go up and pass our articles of anything that we want to make changes to that affects the town. How are we looking at the budget? Because we can modify our budget. This is our opportunity, and I'm losing my voice. So this is our opportunity. How do you feel about the budget? Anything? Barb?
But I'm hopeful we're properly funded.
Any questions from the commission on that? Maybe you can send out a budget at the next meeting just to review it, how we are, where we're looking.
Yeah, and that is on the agenda, and I apologize. I had hoped that I had put it on there thinking I needed to get that done. It's just so much going on at the moment that I didn't. So that will be up on the next agenda also.
Well, I mean, we've done a lot to write some of the things on as far as the budget and stuff. I guess the only thing I'm still concerned about now that we have a contractor on board that we're comfortable with is now sitting down with Lemonster again and going over what their plans are. And that's something that we can do is talk to Roger again.
You're frozen, Dave.
Am I frozen?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. You're back.
Okay. Again, bad computers. Okay. Next item. The connection policy in process. I too had a phone call with a contractor over the weekend, and I'm not going to mention names or where it came from or what. And I think all you guys have also gotten an email that a contractor wanted may have called you. But a long story short, after I found out what was going on, I talked to a couple of contractors in town who do installs, who've done over hundreds of tie-ins for us in the town of Lunenburg. And I'm trying to find out really what the problem is, which we're going to be talking about in a second. But these contractors told me that, and again, Barbara, I'm not trying to blow up your head and Jack, but you guys always responded to a question if they had a problem trying to find these Ts, and which made me feel good listening to that. One contractor did tell me that he asked Mr. Rodigan to go out. That he not only went out, he offered to camera the lines, which they did for the laterals, which I'll let Jack explain. But I'm very, very comfortable with what I found out, the real story from how we operate as far as tie-ins. And now I've been on the commission for 5 years, and I never really looked at how this process works either, because it never really came up, which means if it didn't come up, there really wasn't a problem. But every once in a while, you may have a difficulty or confusion. But I want to make it clear that our commission, number one priority is to service our customers, which I think we do a good job at. So Without ado, I'd like to let Barbara explain to you guys getting a package, what goes to the contractors. Everybody received that? Mike
I'm not so sure I did.
When did you send that out?
came out with a package.
Oh, it came out Friday? Yep.
And it's a 5-page thing. Starts with, I asked Bob to send a sample package out.
Sample package for requests.
Yeah, request for tie-ins.
Yep.
And then it has a letter of one customer that asked for it, how that works.
Mhm.
It asks for, it gives us the handout that we hand out to all our customers, our procedure, I should say. And that's like 4 or 5 pages from the book.
Right.
And then it gives out the requirements of what they need for insurance. It gives a copy of the town of Lunenburg permit. It gives a as-built of where the stub is on the property. And it also references our town website where the policy is located. So if you see all that, that's pretty efficient.
Mm-hmm.
But Bob, why don't you explain what happens when someone calls?
It just, if this email, I think that was sent out this year was in the response to a call. So I have to get the information on the number, mostly the number of bedrooms. Sometimes it's a multi-use, whatever, but we have to determine the basis for the connection fee based on the assessor's records, and then send them out the cost and the application for a permit to connect. If a contractor is not familiar or hasn't done a connection in a while, they'll get that Article 2 again, which is just excerpted from our sewer use regs and goes over what their responsibilities are. They receive that in order to get a drain layers license. So they've already received a copy if they're doing work in town. And then a tie card either from the original installation or when we did the SRF projects or extensions. we try to have them all electronically so we can send them out. Once it's connected, once the application is approved, we send out a permit, the formal permit, like with a numbered permit, along with blank as-built and system abandonment form, which is we do for the Board of Health. Jack is deemed an agent, or Jimmy Bro before him, to be able to confirm that the septic system has been decommissioned. And once those are all received, then we produce a certificate of connection. So that's the basic process.
Okay. And I'm going to go around the horn here. Any commissioners have any questions on this, Mike?
No, I don't. It's pretty straightforward. It explains everything out in detail as I read through it, what the contractors are responsible for, what they need to put back, like you just said about the septic tank. It needs to be filled and out of commission. I think it's pretty straightforward. I think it's written out very well.
Thank you. Brett, you had your hand up. You're chomping at this bit of this.
Well, I guess my question would be, are there any as-built drawings ever made for where the T connections were installed? You said that a big problem is finding the T connections.
If you look at the package that you got,
Yeah, I'm looking at it now too.
it's on page,
On the last page.
Last page, okay.
Sometimes with the original installation, the as-built
Isn't always on course.
or I should say tie cards. We've got tie cards on hopefully any installation of the sewer. So, and that's the instance where we have to go out and do more research.
Excuse me, it's second to last page, Brett.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I guess the problem is that the as-built isn't always measured or drawn perfectly correct either by the people who drew it.
no, you're correct on that. Let Jack talk to you about that. Jack, could you explain what Brett is talking about?
Yeah. Even a step back from that, Brett, some of the engineering has been so poor in the past that the former sewer commissioners did not hold the feet of the engineering company to the fire to provide as-bills. And so there are many as-bills that are missing. You obviously, you don't know which ones they are until you go looking for them. And in those cases, what we do is I either do it from memory, some are fairly obvious, or else if we just can't find them, we, at our own expense, camera the line in the general area at the closest manhole and find where the T is. And then, you know, it has to be, locate the property line where it meets the asphalt or the distance behind the asphalt. And we generally, you know, 9 times out of 10 are able to locate it. If in fact this fails, and we already have the general location, each contractor, and this has not been a lot of cases, this is only a few cases, will excavate, and if he has trouble finding it, we offer to pay for his time to find that, you know, on our dime. So to a person, no one's ever charged us. So that's finding the T's. Sometimes the T's do not exist because, and this has only been 1 or 2, honestly, where a person has paid a betterment or they were supposed to get a T, and remember, we've done thousands, and then we have to go into the road and provide them with a lateral location to the property line, as is the responsibility of the town. Oftentimes, also, there'll be, the homeowner will, you know, do their due diligence and want to have 2 or 3 contractors look at it. So 2 or 3 times we go out and provide that information on our own time to serve the public. Sometimes no one will do it. Oftentimes, as in the case with Mass Ave, Barb had the money for some length of time before a contractor surfaced who wanted the information. And even to date, there hasn't been a permit taken out. So we go over and above to give them that information if and when the information is available on a tie card. And when it's not available, I visit the site. And if we still can't come up with a reasonable location, we TV camera the line to do it.
Well, thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. And I appreciate all you do. All that extra time you put in.
John, go with you.
Well, how much time do we expect a contractor to put in to locate a T that's supposed to be on the ticket, you know, before we would start helping them with that?
If each one is different, I could count on one hand. In fact, I'd give you a few fingers on top of that, or from that, where we've had that situation. It's typically if there's a problem, we don't have an as-built provided by the consultant, but if we do have a tie card, 99.9% of the time, that's where the lateral is. The 2 or 3 times where it's been a little deeper, or I don't know, to the left or the right, north or south, it hasn't really been an issue. That's part of the subsurface construction industry. It's minimal, and I don't know, Barb, I lost track at 1,000. Do you know the amount of connections we put in?
Oh, it's still like upper 800s.
Upper 800s?
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought it got to 1,000, but so 800, we've had, you know, 800 connections, and I've had 1 complaint.
Wow. That's impressive.
Great.
Okay.
And that was the most recent. That was the most recent complaint, and that individual was served. He asked for a meeting. I went to the site. I then went back and researched what we had in files, made a copy of the larger plan, told him it was at the office. He didn't pick it up for 2 or 3 weeks, called to remind him. I met with him on site. He had an alternate plan to run the sewer on two-way parallel in the right of way. I said, well, you're going to have to come and meet with the commission for any alternative plan. And Barb reached out, and it was his choice not to meet with the commission. So that's how Mass Ave stands, where the homeowner has paid the fee. Coincidentally, I was just called by the contractor again today. It talked about the plan that I had given him, and we plan to meet out there again to serve the individual.
Okay, I mean, as long as the contractors know that we're there to help them out as much as possible if the ticket isn't accurate or if there isn't one. And the other thing is, I think it was Carl mentioned something about a key. I'm not sure. Is this for a low pressure system when you get?
Yeah, John, you're familiar. You're intimately familiar with that. You have one at your own home.
Yeah.
We haven't done, of the 800 some odd connections that we've done, far and away, the majority of them have been gravity connections.
Right.
Small amount, I don't know, maybe 5, I wouldn't even guess, 40, 50 on the Lakeview, Lancaster Ave. And each one, everyone, the contractor, and sometimes the contractor with the manufacturer, since he's supposed to be there to run the system through its paces. In 100% of these instances, the contractor has opened the valve at the lateral. There's only been one issue made of it, and that's with this present contractor. It's never, ever been an issue, ever. Something was said to me that, oh, Jim Bro did it. Well, Jim Bro never did it. In fact, it was nice to see Jim Bro. He was up from North Carolina, and Barb kneeled him till he said, no, we never did that. The key is basically a pipe wrench when you've got the thing open and you're making the connection. So I hope that answers your key connection. No problems.
Okay.
No problem until this one.
Okay, well then I guess my only comment regarding the key would be, is that something the sewer department, the sewer commission, whichever, should consider having one available?
I don't think so, John. Let's say we did 100 pressure main. Let's just take a number. I don't know if it's plus or minus. We've never had to deal with that situation ever. And then once the system is put in, or as it's put in, that's when the valve at the property line is turned on. Obviously, it's off so that the pressure in the line doesn't make itself up to the connection and into the home. But and then it's clear. It's clear in our regs that we're responsible for the main, and we take that very seriously. And we would do anything and have a history of doing anything to help people. But when you dig down the 5 or 6 feet or 8 feet, and you achieve that valve, and you're making your connection, the valve is literally right in front of you. Why you wouldn't turn it on, I don't know. So no, I'm not going to buy a key. I don't even know what is meant by a key.
So that's sort of why I asked the question. Other than that, I don't have any other questions right now.
Okay.
Carl?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I think the most important thing is the implications of this Mass Ave adventure on policy. Um, I understand in an example Barb sent out that the practice, I'll call it practice, is that we provide the tie card or an as-built. And I think Jack said specifically that the town is responsible for identifying the location, finding or identifying or providing the information to identify the location of the valve, of the whether it be a T or letter, whatever the customer connects to. The problem I see is that at least this one contractor claims that he was told it's not the town's responsibility. And in an email that Heather just sent out this afternoon, she said that it's not her opinion that it's the town's responsibility to provide that information. I can't find, and Barb, maybe you can help me, I can't find anywhere in our regulation here that you sent out where it finds what the town's responsibility is regarding providing information as to where that location is. Can you direct me to that? Have I missed it? Or is that something that we've been doing all the time, but is not documented?
I think more the latter. It's just that the contractor is responsible for all things regarding, the preliminary work. It's not spelled out really completely, but it's there generally.
Yeah, I don't see anything. If I'm a contractor, I don't see anything here that I can hang my hat on. As a matter of fact, Heather has taken a pretty firm stance that the town is not responsible for providing information about where the connection is. And I think that's a major gap in the regulation.
Carl, I don't think Heather was saying that at all. She's reading the same paperwork that goes out to every contractor, and we provide them with the key card. And if they had any questions, they should call the DPW, which is what they've always done. And you've been, as you said this morning at the beginning, you've been on this commission for 14 years. Have you ever run across anything like this?
Well, no, because we always provide it, and if we don't know where it is, as Jack knows, it said that there's some cases where we don't even know where it is. The town takes it upon themselves to go find it. And Mr. Chairman, if I could read from Heather's email at 1:55 this afternoon, she says, further, in regards to the responsibility of who lays out the location of the laterals, Article 2, Section 3, paragraph speaks to the mechanics of installation and the line and the grade and are the responsibility of the contractor. So she's taking a very hard position that her read of the regulation, as is mine, is that the town is not responsible for identifying the location. And I think that is a problem that we need to fix.
I'm not saying that we have a procedure. Do we need a policy? Absolutely. But for 15 years, this is the way we've been doing work, and we got one complaint. I think that's a pretty good record, don't you?
I think we need to document that what the town is responsible for, and I think the town is responsible for providing information to the homeowner as to where the connection in the road is, and I think that is a big
But we do
gap
that.
in the now. As Jack said, we're dealing with a unique case and perhaps a unique individual here who's bringing up things that haven't been brought up for 14 years, but it doesn't mean that they're not right and that they don't need to be put right.
And I think our goal is to make it right.
Good.
But I mean, but it's a
Great.
matter
So
of,
I think we need to.
write a policy.
No, it's not a policy. It's a regulation. It should be in the regulation that Barb sent out that indicates what the town's responsibility is or isn't very clearly regarding identifying the location of the town connection.
I can agree with that. We can put a paragraph in there.
Yeah, that's all I'm asking, Chair. I think it should be fairly simple. Everybody seems to agree. Certainly Jack agrees that it is our responsibility. We should have found out, we should know. I don't think that I don't know which commission Jack was referring to who let the contract hook regarding as-built, but I can tell you it wasn't in the last 14 years. But the fact is, we don't have all the as-built, and I think the as-built is is what's still lacking on this particular case study. But that be as it may, I think we all agree that it is the town's responsibility. And if we could just work to put one small statement in there that the town is responsible for identifying the location to the contractor, then I think that plugs that hole that took us 14 years to find.
Jack, do you have any
So,
comments?
and I think between Barb and Jack, I think that should be simple to come up with. The other comment I would like to have is on the low pressure. Again, it's a policy related issue, and it relates to, again, what is the town's responsibility with connections? We charge a lot of money for connections, and lawyers have always been telling us for years that we need to, be very clear on what homeowners and what builders are getting for that money we're charging them. And I do know that in what Barb sent out, we're required to do a final inspection before the connection is made. So to begin with, I don't know why we're not actually on site when that valve gets turned, the final inspection. But that be as it may, a question for Jack before further comment is, Jack, in your mind, is for low pressure systems, which are very different, is the valve that that we specified and we required be installed at each of these locations for a future connection, valve owned by and the responsibility of the town?
You're a little, I'm going to ask you to repeat that, Carl, just because I want to be very clear.
Yeah,
on how
I'm sorry. I don't blame you, Jack. It was too long. The valve for low pressure systems specifically, the valve that's being discussed here needs a key or not, is that valve owned by the town, and is it the town's responsibility?
By virtue, my opinion on that, or my understanding of that, is that it's clear in our regulations that the town is only responsible for the sewer main, not responsible, although I agree, it is the responsibility of the town, and if it's not clear, it's certainly been practiced for 20 years. And if it's not clear, it should be written into the regulations that we locate it. Who else would know? But in terms of the lateral, once the town accepts the line, which obviously has to happen before people can connect, once the town accepts the line, in your own regulations, it says that the town is only responsible for the main and not the lateral off the main, even though a portion of it may be in the town right of way.
Okay, so that valve, once it's connected, the homeowner or business, whatever, is thereafter responsible for the valve because it's not at the main. Right? So if they damage the valve, turning it on or off, or the valve goes defective, it's the homeowner's responsibility.
As with any lateral, and I know you're being specific on and rightfully so on the pressure main, with any lateral, the town is not has no responsibility, although it behooves us to be there, but in a gravity situation where the pipe is much larger, to make sure that if wet situation, if something doesn't get into the main, and that's why we're there. The town is not responsible, and therefore the sewer commission not responsible for anything past the outside diameter of the main line in the street.
Okay, good.
The regulations are very clear.
Okay, all right, good. So then the valve is not our responsibility, and so that's clear. Then the contractor should turn it on or off or break it or whatever, but they're responsible. Okay, good. I'm happy with that. So so there's so I don't see any policy issues on that. As Jack says, it's clear that the main. So if we could add just a small paragraph addressing the town's responsibility for location, then I'm happy.
John, you were going to say something?
Well, I guess as the owner of a low pressure pump, I've always assumed, I always knew I was responsible for the shutoff valve. But just sitting here listening to the discussion, the town does own the line itself, and if any work ever needed to be done on it, you know, they would potentially need to shut off all those valves. I don't know. And I don't think, you know I don't own a key to shut that valve off. So I don't know, just going back to maybe the town should have one, or potentially if we ever run into a problem with the low pressure system, we might have to get one. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to have a big discussion on it. I just agreeing that I know I own the shutoff valve as someone who owns an E1, but
You know, John, I remember we went to kind of class on this when we were doing it. And
Right.
the key, I think people think a key is an actual key.
no, it's just a long wrench.
But that's all it is. That when a contractor ties in, they shut off the pressure so they don't get a backwash on them when they're doing a connection. So it's not an actual key. It's,
No, I know.
I mean, if you want a key, I'll get you a wrench. I mean, that's.
No. I don't want one. I'm just,
I'll get you one though. That's nice. We can call it the John wrench. As far
I'll go to my reliable contractor.
The only comment I have is that we've been doing this, and Carl, like you said, you've been doing it for 14 years. We never had a complaint except this contractor. Has this contractor ever tied into our sewer system? Because I'll be very concerned with all the questions coming up.
Barbara can answer that, and I can answer that as well. Yeah, he said he's tied into some number. I couldn't tell you how many, Barbara. 10,
Yeah.
6.
Right, maybe 10 over the time I've been, 10 and
Yeah,
10 years.
20 years.
I mean, he's asking questions like this is his first time. I mean, if it is, I understand. But Mike, that's my comment on it. Okay, Jack, what do you feel about our solution? We'll look at it and put that paragraph in the policies as far as the town would help. locate
Yeah,
the
I
stuff.
think I think it's a great idea. I think we can get, if we build on nearly 20 years of success and lack of negative comments, you can see how, I, for one, might get lulled to sleep that the what's going on is a good thing and people are happy with it, but this particular person is unhappy, so it brings it to the fore and rises. And if it can be cured, if you will, by one paragraph, why not?
Okay. Bob, are you going to take care of that, or would you like a commissioner to sit down with you and work with it?
I can work with Jack just to come up with the verbiage and present it for the next meeting.
Can we do that? Everybody agree
That's
with
okay with people.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob.
This works well.
We're happy.
All right. Next item on the list is the council access proposed policy. As you know, I'm going to pull it out here. We talked about this, and Kyle, I don't know if you're at the meetings or not. What I'm trying to do, and we talked to the board on this, and I'm not limited policy to go see the attorneys, but I am asking for any member that wants to go, and I'm just talking numbers, to tell the commission that they're going and why they're going. Because we work as a team, we work as a committee. When someone goes behind and goes talk to an attorney and comes back and says, I just talked to the attorney and what you guys did the last time is wrong, that's not helping the business. It's also not being a team player. So I proposed nothing else except the verbiage that I put in there, which I talked to council and town manager about. So I'd like to bring that up for comment, and we'll start with Mike. Mike, do you have any comments on the policy? And I can't find it.
I got it right in front of me, Dave, and I was reading through it earlier today. I agree. We do have a right to go to council if we have a question. But again, we are a commission. We all do work together. So if there is an item or if there is an issue that we don't understand, we should kind of go with our peers first. Maybe talk it through, maybe understand it. And then we do go, maybe if we all don't understand it, then we all go to commission, or we pick a spokesperson and we go to the counselor, or council, and we can clarify it that way.
Okay.
So we're all on the same page and we're all under the understanding of what we're having an issue with or a question with.
Thank you. Brett? Any comments?
Brett? Oh.
Brett?
I believe council is important. I don't have a lot to add to what Mike said.
John?
Yeah, I don't think the intent was to limit access to council. I guess in general, it'd be nice to know if someone on the commission has an issue before they go. I know in the past I've gone to council a couple times just to clarify a few things, but I think the commission knew I was going. But yeah, I don't think the intent here was ever to limit access to town council.
Nope. Mr. Luck?
I certainly think we need to work together. I absolutely agree with that. And 95% of any things that anybody wants to talk to council about probably have already been discussed with the commission. But this policy absolutely restricts it. This entire policy has one purpose, and that's to add paragraph 2 to the town. I mean, the town has a policy that's exactly this word for word, and this sewer commission policy adds item 2, which clearly says that the use of town council monthly office hours for sewer commission is restricted to our department head, business manager, and with the permission of the sewer commission, members can seek out and ask legal questions. So it's explicitly saying that a member of the commission cannot go to office hours to have a discussion with council without the permission of the sewer commission. And if that isn't restricting our rights to legal counsel, then I don't know what is, and I don't know what good purpose it serves. As I said, we've had a similar discussion several times in the past in the commission before most of the current members were there. And it's been interesting discussions every time. And every time it ends up that not only is it the commissioner's right, it has value. It's free. We have a free access to counsel. What happens after that and that information? In our discussions, we generally agreed that any commissioner can have any discussion they want, just like on any board. But when they come back to the commission, if it hasn't been discussed with the commission, then it's still an opinion of that member. It's not a legal input until legal documents it. And if anyone goes to town council during the office hours and wants some message brought back officially from legal, then they needed to bring it back in writing from legal so that it was quite clear and it's not someone's opinion of a discussion that nobody else knew about. So it has to be handled carefully, but I couldn't be any stronger against, restricting just the sewer commission for some reason, thinking that we have to restrict commissioners' access to get legal counsel. And sometimes if it's, if it's something that perhaps a member, isn't comfortable talking with the entire commission and they want to get counsel's input before, making a fool of himself or upsetting anyone. So again, this entire policy is just, this entire policy could be one sentence, and that's the sentence in paragraph 2, which says, permission is required for the commissioners to seek counsel. And I think that's against what the Board of Selectmen and the town manager had in mind when they set this up, and specifically said all town employees and board members can go to open office hours. So I couldn't be more against it. And anyone who thinks this isn't restricting our rights and access to legal counsel didn't read paragraph 2.
You done? You done?
For now, until we'll hear from the rest of the commission.
Any comments on that, guys?
Well, as I said, I don't think the original intent was to restrict access. I think it's very important that when the commissioner speaks to council, that he clarifies whether he's representing the council or representing him or herself.
This is being set up.
Representing the sewer commission or representing himself.
And the reason why I'm asking for approval of this tonight is that we as a commission work together. We vote together, we fight together. At the end of the day, it's all for our clients and it's all for our customers. But I will not, and as I said before, if we make a decision on something and someone goes sees a lawyer and comes back and said, I just talked to the lawyer and this is what we should be doing, it's not gonna happen anymore, guys. We have to take what we got and do it right. Now, is it restricting you from going? As I said before, absolutely not. But I really don't want to have someone come back 2 weeks later and say, hey, I talked to the attorney, we should overturn this decision or that decision. And that's just wasting our time, and it is wasting our money. And if people can't see that, then I do have a problem. So what I'm saying is, guys, and as I said before, on the last times we talked about this, the last couple meetings, I encourage you to go see the attorney. No one's stopping anybody from seeing the attorney, but just have the common courtesy to let us know so we say, okay, and we give you our blessings. But if you do it behind our back, I don't like that at all. So that's my take on it.
So, Mr. Chairman, then I suggest we reword this paragraph because I think there are some things that would be good to clarify for the members. But this paragraph clearly says that you can't go to council without permission of the sewer commission. I didn't think I heard you say that.
Well, you have to explain, but technically it's the permission of the board. Yeah, go ahead, Carl, or go ahead, John, or go ahead, whoever. And it may be on a special project like we did with the last company that we dealt with. So yeah, permission is a good word, I think.
So that's restrict. So if you need permission, that I don't know how you get many more restrictive than that.
Again, that's the wordage that I thought would be good. So I'll take it with a vote. If anybody wants me to change the word, it's up to the commission. And we'll start with Mike. Mike, it seems like I'm picking on you, but I'm not. You're just the first one. Yeah.
That's all right. No, it's okay. I mean, we could change a word to use a different permission. I mean, you could, grant access to or agree to or allow to. I mean, I kind of get what you're saying, Dave. Really on this, again, it's the way it's written, but I agree to the whole thing. We all need to stay as a team, make decisions as a team. And again, if there's something that needs to be brought to council, then we bring it to council as a team. So that's my stand on this petition you got right now.
Thank you. Brett? You're mute, Brett. Hold on. Can you unmute yourself, Brett?
Sorry, folks, I didn't realize I was muted. Yeah, I say we stand as a team, approach council as a team. I see no problem with that. I don't see any restriction there either. I mean, as you said, it saves a lot of time and money. If we have any idea that there's an issue that has arisen, then everybody knows.
Okay.
All for one, one for all.
Thank you, Brett. John?
I guess I can't tell you what the wording is right now, but I think I'd like to see that wording changed a bit. So yeah, I would like to see it changed a bit. But do I agree that that we need to work as a team? Sure, absolutely. Who doesn't? But it's not coming to me right now exactly how I'd like to see the wording changed.
Anybody have any recommendation on the wordage?
Agreement?
Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
I would like to suggest, for the sake of time, and this is fairly important. So I think it takes it's worthy of some consideration. And this is the first night we've talked about this. We have not talked about this at all until this point. So I would like to request that the members be given till next meeting to think this over, maybe come up with some proposed different language that isn't is restrictive. Who can, as John said, who can argue with a team? However, teams, also a successful team has diversity and different opinions, and the minority opinion is not always the wrong opinion. So I think we need to be very, very careful not going to an area. So I'm requesting that we be given till the next meeting to think, to look at this language, think of how it might be reworded, and come up with something that is hopefully not so restrictive that you know, people can't seek counsel, and to Brett, because they may not, you know, I'm not sure how many people have used the office hours. Office hours were created for just those of members, individual members, not commissions, to be able to go ask their questions, you know, so that we could stay out of trouble. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. As a matter of fact, as you said, Brett, it could save us money. One discussion with counsel could save not only money, but could save time in future meetings of discussing things that, you know, counsel can tell you right up front, no, that's just not the way it goes, and, you know, forget it. So I'm requesting that we be given time to think about the language, review what's here, think about it, and make some proposals at the next meeting.
I would be on board with that.
One of the things is this is a double-edged sword. It can go either way. People can abuse it, or people can use it. So, I mean, right off the bat, I would just change that word permission to notification. It's as simple as that. You know, all you got to do is notify. So if somebody wants to go see the lawyer, they would notify this commission and say, hey, I'm going to see the attorney. That's as simple as it gets. So it's one word change. I don't think we've talked about this before, Kyle, when you were missing some meetings. This isn't the first time this was brought up. But I would feel comfortable with the word notification instead of permission. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Mike? Again, you're the first one.
Yeah, that's all right. No. I mean, again, yeah, notification, if you want to say that rather than permission, that works well too.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
fortunately, I don't have occasion to often see counsel. I know it's available. The agreement or the protocol is that I ask the town manager or notify the town manager. But what I think is important, she's never refused it. What I think is an important component of that, as you change this one word, which I think does make a difference, is notify those as I notify her of the topic or the issue, or I'm going to see the attorney, I'm going to see town council because X, Y, and Z. Now, I don't know if that's too restrictive for all of you. I just throw it out there because that's the protocol that department heads follow.
Actually, Jack, the policy is the
Mr.
same.
Chairman, just to clarify Jack's comment there, so we fully understand. Jack, are you referring to any interaction with counsel, or the open office hours, or what?
I never see counsel, visit counsel without asking town manager. Now, I don't know exactly how it's written, but I do it as a courtesy. I ask her, she actually sets up the times, and I inform her or ask her that I'd like to go. And I also describe the situation upon which I'd like clarification. I think in my situation, it's a courtesy.
Who sets
Thank
up
you,
the
Jack.
time for our lawyer to go see him? Barbara, do you do that? If Carl wants to go see the lawyer, do you set it up?
No, well, I think we're talking almost two different things. The council hours, I think, are maybe what you're mostly talking about, Dave, or this policy is trying to control that. Anything outside of council hours is always gone. You have to go through the town manager, and that's part of that policy. That's number 3.
Yeah.
Right.
So outside of council hours, which is included with the contract with council for the town,
But
it always goes through Heather.
who
But
sets up?
Chairman,
to go
thank
to
you.
council hours, it's just a Google poll
Yeah.
that
Thank-
Elaine sets out.
Thank you, Barb. And I think that's, again, maybe, I don't know what people know. There is no use of council, of an official business, or without asking the town manager, and that's the policy, as Barb said. the whole topic here and what this particular paragraph was referring to is specifically monthly office hours. The monthly office hours are set up as an informal an appointment through the Google. It's sent out. It's always on short notice. It could be, sometimes it's not the plan, but sometimes it can be a couple days in advance. So you don't even have time. You don't have a commission meeting in between, but you may have a question that is important or could be relevant for the next meeting. So it's really different things here. There's no question that official legal consultation requires the town manager's approval, which almost always is, involves the commission and the chair. That's not the topic here. The topic here is these monthly office hours, which are intended to be informal, sit down chats, one-on-one with the lawyer on just things that might be bothering members. So, if everybody else is fine with the notification, it's
Well,
okay.
that could be as easy as a quick email saying, hey, I'm going to head to the council. I have a question regarding this. And then our next meeting, we all have a heads up that it's going to come up.
Yeah, a notification is fine. I don't think that limits anyone's ability to seek advice or whatever. And these unofficial monthly office hour, one-on-one discussions.
Again, I think if we change the word to notification, I have no problem with that. At least we know if someone is going to see a lawyer, we know about it, so we don't get any surprises. And like I said to John and you guys before, I encourage you to go see a lawyer if we need it. But if you don't need it, or if you're going to go back and you're not happy with the decision that this commission made, and go talk to a lawyer and try to get something on the side, and you come back, I'm not going to listen to it, and I hope this board doesn't listen to it. We all have to know what's going on. We got to be above board. So I hope everyone understands that we're not trying to hold anyone's rights. We're trying to do it right. And the right way to do it is, like I said, I would change that word permission to notification. Does everyone agree with that? Mike?
Yes.
And Brett?
I would agree with that.
Hey, John?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Carl?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so after the change, Bob, and we can vote on this tonight, it's just the word notification. I'm looking for a motion to accept the proposed access to town council with the change of word permission to notification.
Well, so motion.
Second,
I second.
discussion. Okay, a roll call vote. All in favor? Mike? Lose my voice. Mike?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Brett?
Aye.
Carl? Carl?
Oh, I thought that was Brett. Aye, sorry.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Next item is the first quarter 21 commitment and warrants. We already talked about that, didn't we, Barb? No, we
No.
didn't. It's up to you.
No, that's the commitment that we do after the Q1 or after the quarterly bills go out. It's a document that will be signed eventually. I have a collection of documents that once we either reconvene in person or you come in to sign something, I might get you to sign. So I usually just need the commission to vote to approve the Q1 billing. The final number is $200,012,461.81.
Any paperwork on that?
No, that's just the number. It's based on the billing and any final reads that had been done.
Any commissioners have any questions on that? Mike?
No.
Brett?
I do not.
John?
No.
Carl? Can you hear me, Carl?
Yep. No question.
Okay, Bob.
Okay. All all
Mr.
good?
Chairman, I do have a question. When you I accidentally went back to gender, on the special town meeting warrant, I guess I missed it, but did you mention the transfers and things, Barb?
Yes, stabilization funds. Yeah, it'll be standard. I now realize in the mid-sentence that the next time we meet will be the deadline date of the warrant. So if there is anything outside of those stabilization fund transfers, I will definitely be in touch with you guys to make sure. But if you think of any articles that need to be brought up for that warrant, you gotta let me know.
Thank you, Bob. Mr. Chairman, I apologize for going backwards.
You may have to send out some emails, and again, nobody responds back. But if you have anything that you want to let the commission know, fill us in before the warrant. What's the date the warrant ends?
It
September.
ends on our next meeting, the 29th of September.
All right, so if there's anything that happens between now and then, please send the info out to the full commission.
Absolutely. You'll see what I'm planning to submit, but just as, you know, the quicker the possible, if you've got something else, your commission may need to meet to discuss it.
Which brings me to
Yeah,
one,
Barb,
go ahead.
there is one thing that maybe regarding the was Highfield. I can't think of the new name.
Pike Farms.
But yeah, are we transferring money for payment? Does that happen at this special town meeting or in the future? Because we need to we have some discussion on how we're going to handle that money.
Right. I need to look back and see what we talked about. We received it. It has been deposited. And I think where it was I was going to talk to Fitchburg and see if we can make any prepayment on that
Right.
and save any interest.
Right.
But it could be, I mean, I may just include it in the capital, in the funds transfer so that it is put in a safe place. I'm not sure how quickly Fitchburg is going to be able to come back with an answer on that, but I'll give it a try. I'll do that. And then if not, that'll be one of the transfers.
Didn't you do that at the last town meeting? I thought we had it covered in the last town meeting. Can you check on the warrant?
No, we've received Bright Farms money after that because it was a July sale that we weren't expecting necessarily.
Okay.
So we had to determine what we were going to do or how we were going to handle it, whether it's part of the FY22 budget or what. So I'll reach out to Fitchburg and see if I can get a quick answer. If not, we will plan to probably just tuck it so that it's safely put away and can be paid out and included in every budget for that payment.
Well, just keep in mind, the warrant's in 2 weeks from today, so you have to make a decision with it pretty soon.
Right.
And the other thing is when you send,
I think, Barb,
go ahead, Carl.
I suspect the default, which might be the thing to do at this late hour and maybe the right thing anyway, the default is just stick with the plan we had at budget time, which was not to use that money. And because we put it in the operating budget. So I suspect the right default is just stick with that plan. And then between now and the next town meeting, we decide how and when we want to use those funds.
Which is probably what I would,
Because it'll be the same fiscal year. So yes, we have time.
but anything that's written, and guys, when you guys do an email, I gotta bring up one point. If you were writing an email to everybody on the board, I want you to put at the bottom of the email, do not respond to this. Because even though your intent is good, people have a tendency to respond to something. So you gotta be very careful on any emails you get. Mr. Luck sent out an email and you get tempted to respond to it. Don't respond to it because it's an open meeting law violation. So that's something you might want to go see the attorney about, the open meeting law violations. You guys all still there? Can you hear me?
It's a good
Yes.
topic, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I think if they haven't already, there are online courses for the open meeting law They're pretty efficient, and you can take them at your own pace. The one thing when I do call for anyone, we just can't have any opinions in anything. You know, if it's a request or something without opinions. But I would suggest open meeting law training as soon as you have time and able to do it online.
Hey, Barb, budget for 2001, you're going to have it at our next meeting? We're going to skip.
Yes.
Okay. Minutes, I'm looking for a motion to approve 8:25 and 9:1 minutes. Start with 8:25. Anybody?
Yeah, make a motion to approve the minutes from the 8:25 meeting.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Mike?
Aye.
Brett? You're muted, Brett. I think you said aye.
Yes, I did.
Lead the witness.
Aye. Yes.
You say aye, Carl?
Aye.
And an aye for myself. Looking for a motion to accept the minutes from 9:1. Anybody?
I make a motion to accept the minutes from the 9/1 Sewer Commission meeting.
Looking for
I'll
a second.
second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor? Mike?
Yes.
Brett?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
And Carl?
Aye.
Okay. Business discussions. Bob, do you have anything on business discussions?
I do not.
Okay. Business-
Um,
You're up. Barb.
ready for business manager. Just so you know, we did end up with all the changes. We've got 28 participants in the radio read program of the Deduct meter. So it's a reduction about in half, either unwilling to do the radio or like our prior caller just hasn't done it yet, or they didn't pay the fee. But either way, you're not included. So we're on 28. And the list has been sent to the water department to hopefully do the readings coincidentally with the water reads, which will be a nice thing. Invoices for review. I did get a Mead Tollerman Costa invoice for services through August 5th. So starting the end of July to August 5th for $329.62. So as long as, I mean, there's no approvals are necessary. It's an advisal by the Board of Selectmen office. So it's just more like, just so you know. Okay.
That it?
The I&I third-party billing tool, working on the test in my training database. Jane is starting to do the meter ID imports actually, I think tomorrow, coming in to learn and get it going. So, but I'm gonna work almost separately from her for a bit, just with our training database to try to get them a test file so we can at least see what the output will be. And that's all I have.
Very good. Any questions on Barbara's?
Thank you.
I see none.
Yes, Mr.
Go ahead, Carl.
Just on the, it occurred to me, Barb, and I don't know if you've had discussion with Woodward and Kern, but we've been so focused on the meter read and the meter database and the billing file and all that really haven't had any discussion about the format of the pump station runtime data that's going to come into this algorithm. Have you been discussing with them, or is that already agreed?
No, not at all. I didn't know if I did not. I have not.
Okay, so if you can please keep that in mind, because clearly that's an important format, and we have to give that format back to our new contractor so that they give us the data in that format.
Yes, they need to know that. So I haven't received anything from Woodard and Curran on that.
Yeah, I'm concerned because they've been so silent on it. I think the sooner we mention it, we won't get any surprises.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay.
All right, so you want me to contact David?
It sounds like you're talking to him more than I am. Just if I can help, I'd be more than happy to, Barb.
Yeah. I haven't been in contact at all. I'm just working on the inside, just trying to get the meter import going on the billing, on the water data.
If you'd like me to go back to them just to key that point up, I'd be happy to.
You, Barb.
Sure.
Okay.
You that, Carl?
Will do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next agenda is for input for future meetings. Now that we got our feet back on the ground a little bit, it's been I say termless year, it would be funny to say that, but we've done a lot this year. We're kind of getting back on track. What I'd like you to do is each member take a look at where we are as a business and write down one thing for an agenda that you feel that we should be working on going forward. And there's a lot of them. But we kind of want to do now a new priority list as far as what we're doing for the business. And customer service, I think is very good. So that's what I mean. If you feel something is lacking, think about it as a business and send it to Barb. Can you all hear me?
Yes,
Because
your video is frozen.
okay, your video's frozen. There you go. So if you can come up and think of something, and let's start picking the business apart one by one, and let's go from there. Because everybody has different ideas of where we should go from here. Let's go together as a group, and let's see what we got to do. And as Bob, when you get these things, take a look at it, and you add one in there too, and tell Jack to do the same thing. But let's get going with the business now and stop going over and over and over stuff. We got a lot of good things happening, so let's continue that, guys. Especially with fall coming, and hopefully someday we'll meet. Okay, any public comment from the public? Seeing none. Any public comment from the board? Seeing none. Our upcoming schedule for the sewer commission will be September 29th at 5 p.m. It's going to still be remote participation. October 13th is our next one, 5 p.m., still remote until further notice. I want to wish everyone good night, so I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Anybody?
So motioned.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Roll call vote. Mike?
Yes.
Brett?
Aye.
John?
Yes.
Carl?
Aye.
Sure, now we hear you. Barbara, have a good night. Jane, thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
Take care.
Take care, everybody. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.